What's up, Juventini? Alberto here. Got all your Juventus news. All right. Allegri getting a fine, and this sets the Chihuahuas off. Samardzic watch, according to Nico Schira and Frosinone, next on deck for Juventus. What tweaks is Max going to have in store for us in the lineup? Like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is the AJC. Let's rock with it. We're going to kick things off with Max Allegri. He received a fine of 10,000 euros for a discussion that happened with the officials in the tunnel after the match between Genoa and Juventus. Chihuahuas have been set off everywhere because they just can't help but let those tears flow. They want to talk about Max Allegri. They want to talk about him having class, Juventus having class. Listen, it happened in the tunnel. Go back and listen to the post-match press conference and listen to Max Allegri's words, because he said the official did a fantastic job. He's not going to give you the sound bites of a Sarri or Mourinho that everybody's looking for. What he did was keep it clean and professional. What happens behind closed doors is absolutely different, and I have zero problems with him stating his case for the team behind closed doors after a match. Now, obviously, he took it a little bit too far and sees himself getting a fine, but Serie A officiating as a whole is an absolute joke, and he probably just spoke the truth, all right? So I have no problems with it. Bravo, Massimiliano. Now, we get to our targets at striker, because apparently Juventus is looking. Victor Boniface, we find out that it's nothing out of the ordinary and nothing that we didn't expect. Leverkusen is not releasing Boniface in January. However, what's interesting is that the reports today suggest that Juve isn't going to stop recruiting him and is still going to try to put the feelers out to see if something could potentially happen in the summer. That much I do actually believe. So this is interesting, all right? Xerxes remains in these talks and rumors. He's got a 40 million euro release clause, all right? However, all of this really doesn't matter unless we figure out what happens with Dusan Vlahovic, and that is going to be ongoing until the end of the season. We just have to wait and see, all right? Now, the young guns, Kenan Yildiz, Dean Huijsen, and Yildiz Jr., all right? So we get a bunch of reports with these guys. Kenan Yildiz, despite rumors and potentially heading out, he is not going anywhere in the winter mercado, all right? So that's been thrown out by multiple sources today. Dean Huijsen from Romeo Agresti seems likely heading to Frosinone, who we will see this weekend on a loan for the second half of the season. Frosinone has already contacted Juventus, and this is confirmed by Romeo. Then you have Yildiz Jr. Romeo says that if an offer comes in around that price range to Juventus, they could take it and most likely will take it, all right? But as of right now, no actual bids have come in for the player, but there is a little bit of interest. We have to just wait and see. Now we get to Samardzic. Samardzic watch in full effect, according to Nico Schira, right? So he reports that things might be a little unsettled at Udinese, all right? He was left out of the last match basically as a technical choice, okay? Juve still pushing for a loan with obligation to purchase under certain conditions, all right? Now, there's also the rumor that Ake, who is Juve property, currently on loan with Udinese, could be thrown in the deal. Not only him, but Hans Nicolucci Caviglia as well, all right? So that is the latest rumors, but Nico Schira does say talks are set to begin soon, all right? And there you have it. As he said, this month, well, the winter mercado opens very, very soon, so I just took it as talks are going to happen very, very soon. Listen, out of this report, we had to ask the question, and we put the poll question out there on Twitter. Would you include Hans Nicolucci Caviglia for the deal to bring in Samardzic? 69% of Juventini have said yes, they would. And for me, I would as well. And the reason I feel comfortable in doing so, if we look at Samardzic, for me, he is way more ready now than some of the youngsters we have around right now. I think he would help us tremendously, all right? So, yes, he is also young. So, if we're doubting some of our young guys being able to pull the weight, he looks a lot more polished and ready now than some of our guys. The reason I feel comfortable letting Nicolucci Caviglia go the other direction is what Barnechea is out there doing for Frosinone, and the fact we still have Fagioli lingering around that everybody's kind of forgotten about, and next season he'll be right back into the mix. So I would do this if it came down to it, all right? And it looks like I'm with the majority. Where do you stand? Would you throw Caviglia in the deal if that's what it meant to bring in Samardzic? Hit me in the comment section. Now we get to Frosinone, the dynasty killers, all right? Yes, love that. Every second of that, all right? The Napoli dynasty. Has a dynasty crumbled ever so quickly? I can't believe they even suggested it and were using that hashtag of dynasty. Nonetheless, Frosinone destroys them in the Coppa Italia, albeit after their starters came in and subbed on is when things fell apart, and Barnechea getting the opening goal, which ended up being the winner, all right, as Frosinone embarrasses Napoli at home in the Coppa Italia. Now we've got them on deck. Now, what could Allegri do? Well, it said that Gatti, with another yellow, is obviously going to be missing the Roma match. Paulo Dybala is doing everything in his power to get back into that game, which will be our next one after we face Frosinone. But it is said that the Brazilian backline could return for Frosinone, and Sandro would be the one getting the start to get Gatti that rest, that break, so he won't miss the Roma match. Have we completely forgotten what Daniele Rugani just did in that stint without Danilo and without Sandro? Rugani is the guy. I would personally go Danilo, Bremer, and Rugani. This thing that Max has with Sandro is absolutely insane to me, all right? Play Rugani if it comes down to it. Don't mess around. But that's just me. You guys know the drill. Let me know what you think about everything we just talked about in today's daily update video. All right, I'll be back tomorrow with another, as always, no matter what. Fino alla fine, Forza Juve. And I can't wait for this match against Frosinone. I actually think it's going to be a hell of a watch. And I think that Juve might surprise us with a little bit of a change. Maybe that 3-4-1-2. Let's see what happens, everybody. Talk to you real soon. Take care.